Hey there, my name's Paul, and this is Out of Neutral, a weekly tune-up where we look to the Bible to get in gear and follow Jesus into the life he came to make possible. Today I want to talk about starting with done before moving to do. The biggest difference between Christianity and other religions and philosophies is that the Bible declares that what God has done for us, not what we have done for him, is the basis of our forgiveness, acceptance, and salvation. By contrast, other religions teach what we have to do in order to go to heaven, be acceptable to God, or achieve our potential. Many Christians bring a non-Christian mindset to the way they live the Christian life. When they hear a sermon, for instance, they only hear what they have to do. When they open the Bible, they only see God's commands. And ironically, Christianity can become a non-Christian religion in the process. Scripture gives a simple pattern to correct this. Start with done before you move to do. Let me explain. If you read the New Testament letters, you'll notice that they usually start by describing what God has done for us. Only then do they move on to what God asks us to do in response. In Paul's letter to the Romans, for instance, he spends the bulk of the first 11 chapters explaining all that God has done for us. Then finally in chapter 12 he says, I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. And similarly, in his letter to the Ephesians, chapters 1 to 3 focuses on God's work for us, and then chapters 4 to 6 call us to live our lives in response to him. The idea is that what God has done for us gives us the power to live for him. Trying to live out what God commands without reflecting on and trusting in what God has done is like expecting a plant to grow without sunlight, or trying to run an appliance without plugging it in. Many people come to the Bible thinking what they need is something practical, so they gravitate to passages that talk about marriage or parenting or work. But just knowing what to do doesn't help if we don't have the power to do what God commands. Before Paul describes God's will for our lives, he shows us what God has done to make his will possible. In Ephesians 1, for example, he gives this extended discussion of the ways that God has blessed us, chosen us, adopted us, redeemed us, forgiven us, and given us an incredible inheritance. You can't think about all that God has done for us and not be motivated to want to respond to him. To do God's will, we need to know God more intimately and trust his grace more fully. Next time you hear a sermon, listen for God's done and not just your do. When you read the Bible, try making 2 lists. One list for what God has done for you and another for what God has asked of you. And realize the 2 lists are related. What God has done for us is the power to do what God asks of us. So look for connections. Ask, what has God provided to enable me to obey him? At the same time, realize God isn't just interested in what we do. He's interested in us. So focus more on your relationship with him than your performance for him. Read the Bible to know him better. Speak to him. Think about him and give thanks to him. Ultimately, it's your relationship with him that will fuel any lasting change that takes place in your life. As Jesus said, apart from me, you can do nothing. That's all for this time. If today's video has helped you get out of neutral, leave a comment, share it with your friends, and subscribe to join us on the journey.